BS2PCG Deck Forger, and this is our third edition in our issue called Totally Outrageous Deck Series. Okay, so TOD. And for this particular video, we are going to come up with another totally outrageous deck because it has a very outrageous main character. In fact, okay, I'm just kidding. It's totally lousy, so crappy, and this is Nebula. And you can see here, Nebula is a 0 attack, 3 defense character, totally poor stats, and she also has passive. She cannot attack and she cannot strike back in return. And at the same time, she cannot gain any superpower or any keyword power. So how can we build a great deck or a very competitive deck with such a lousy main character? So try to stick with me in this video as we present to you our Nebulas deck. And this is your host Mark Iyong. And once again guys, this is BS2PCG Deck Forger. So guys, this is our latest demo box. So for our third series of Totally Outrageous Decks or TOD, we're going to get another deck from this demo box. So let's try to open this one. And as you can see, we have our rulebook as usual. And now we have 6 new decks that we are showcasing for our totally outrageous decks. Although some of them are really from the old decks that we have created, just like this Iron Man. Okay, and we also have from the loyalty battles, we have our Captain America. And you can see here that we have Phoenix, which was showcased in our second video for totally outrageous decks, and this is Phoenix Control. And over here we have, of course, Madam Hydra, which is from our very first video for the Secret Empire. And we also have Dark Phoenix, which is one of our original decks. And finally, the focus of our video for today is of course Nebula. So this is called the Nebulas deck, and this is to show you how outrageous this deck can really be. So let's try to go over here, put it here, and we'll try to give you a slight gameplay on how the Nebula deck actually works. Okay, so we'll put Nebula here, and of course before we shuffle our deck, first let's try to explain how Nebula actually works. Okay, so Nebula at level 1 is from the super villains, and she is a 0 attack, 3 defense character with just 5 health. Okay, the problem with Nebula of course is she's so negatively impacted, okay, during her level 1 status. So she is Thanos' greatest creation. So Nebula is passive and she loses and cannot gain other keyword or superpowers while she is level 1. So when you say passive, she cannot attack or strike back in return. So this is so difficult to use that actually combined with the 0 attack, 3 defense, okay, so hard to execute it that I don't know if anybody is really actually using them in competition, of course except for me. Now, her level up requirement is Vengeance Steers, so she just needs 1 XP to level up. So at the end of an enemy turn, if Nebula is equipped with a one-of-a-kind equipment, then she gains an XP. So, a very difficult character to use, at her level 1, and this is now the focus of our totally outrageous deck. So how can we win with such crappy main character? So she's so crappy that even the illustration is a little bit okay. Although this is the original illustration in the comics, but I don't really, she's not really that attractive, okay? But okay, should you be able to gain an XP, then you can transform Nebula to level 2. And now she becomes a huge 12 attack, 12 defense character with 5 defense, and she gains range. This is the payoff. Once you are able to level her up from a 0 attack 3 defense, crappy character, now she becomes a 12-12, almost as big as the original, Thanos supporting character. And she gains revenge. So when you say revenge, Thanos characters are passive and they lose and can gain powers, other printed keyword and superpowers while she is active. And this is the most important part, and that is where the outrageously concept of this deck comes in. So Tomorrow is Mine to Sculpt. She gains this superpower. During the main page, you may pay one space symbol or one alien symbol and choose a printed keyword or superpower on a character on a side or in a KO pile, and Nebula gains that power. So let's try to give you a sample of a gameplay. This is the deck. I will again shuffle this so that you will see how this character or this deck will actually work. So I hope that I can get it right. And again, disclaimer, you can again tweak this deck according to your whim. It's up to you on how you would like to blend in all the combinations that are available in order for you to survive Nebula and to win you a game. So the concept here is not only to survive, but to also win the game. So now let's try to look at this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's try to cut this. So we keep on shuffling this, and let's try to shuffle it some more. And as we try to get the randomness in our pick for the first 7 cards of your deck. So let's try to cut properly so that we can now get and draw the first 7 cards. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can see here that we have drawn a copy of a Nebula supporting character, 1 was. You also have a Cosmic Cube, and you have an Academy, 2 Fine Cover, and 1 Madame Mask. I'm not really sure about this one, so we will try to again shuffle this and try to get what we need as much as possible so that I can show it to you properly. So let's try to cut it again. Let's try to cut it and hope that we can get what we need. So for this particular instance, we are looking for something, probably space, and so now we are we have to contend with this. So we have 2 Black Dwarf, we have a Madame Mask again, a Fine Cover, a can, a yellow power symbol, and key. So I think this will be good enough. So if it's your opponent's turn to go first, it's better because you can draw 2 additional cards, but if not, then it's okay with us. So let's say he goes first, then of course you have so puny stats that you can actually get the first stun even without putting any resource yet on your side. So let's try to draw 2 cards. Now that's a good draw, since now you have Darkhold. By the way, to clarify things, you have Kang in your deck. So normally you set your future time or future date around 3. Okay, so that on the second and third turn, normally you drop your one-of-a-kind equipment on your third turn. So 3 is good enough for us. So let's try to again look back at your hand. So you see you got a dark hold here, which is good enough. You have 2 fine covers, a Madam Mass. Okay, that's fine with me. Okay, so first we'll try to drop in a resource. So that's 1 Academy. Then you try to drop in, of course, Madam Mass. It's okay. As long as you can survive, it's better. If not, then it's okay. Because, okay, remember, your second level power, Tomorrow's Mind to Sculpt, can copy any character from the side, okay, your side, your opponent's side, or even in your KO, in KO pile. So it's okay if she gets stunned, KO'd, but then again, Madam Mass, okay, provides one of the most important character traits here for you to copy with your Nebula. So let's say you pass your turn, and now it's your opponent's turn. His turn 2. Okay, so you get to attack. He gets to attack you, then Madam Mass gets stunned. Either way, if Nebula or survives or gets stunned, then you are down to 3 health. Okay, you have 2 wounds already. Okay, that's fine with us. Okay, so now we get to our second turn. So you draw 2 additional cards. So that's the second Kang, and you have a Wasp. Okay, that's good. Okay, much better if Wasp was originally your first drop, so that you can prevent that stun. But if not, then it's okay. Then you put in 1 resource. So either you put in your extra copy of Black Dwarf here, and now you put in Black Dwarf. So Black Dwarf, okay, is a 4 attack, 1 defense character with 2 health. Okay, from the Super Villains team, and he is a Black Order, so you get to draw, reveal 6 cards in your hand, from your deck. Okay, so let's try to look at it. And if there are any, okay, one-of-a-kind equipment there, then you can put it into your hand, then shuffle the rest into your library. Okay, since we did not get any card at all, that's okay. Okay, that's okay. So let's try to again shuffle them back. Okay. Now remember, Black Dwarf also has tough. So tough meaning he can actually survive an attack, and you get to put him face up again, so that he can also be another defender. So now it's your opponent's. You pass your turn, and it's your opponent's turn. So he's on his third turn. So Black, okay, he puts in characters, then he may get to attack. Okay, that's fine with us. So if Black Dwarf is attacked, and of course he gets stunned, okay, don't need to, okay, use stuff. Okay, you have to at least help him. Okay, help him. Okay, in return. Okay, he's of good use to you later if you still have an available blocker to stop the onslaught of your opponent. So now he gets to attack Nebula, and now you're down to 3 wounds, and you're down to 2 health. Okay, so now pass his turn, so he doesn't need to do anything. If there's now nobody to attack, then you draw 2 cards. Okay, so see, now you have a Wakanda, and of course another copy of Wasp. Now Wakanda, you place it here because of course that's the most logical thing to do. And remember, you already have, okay, your Darkhold, so you don't need to use Wakanda and your Academy in order to search for a one-of-a-kind equipment. And now you get to play Darkhold on Nebula, so that if she survives, okay, you get to have, okay, 1 XP by the end of your enemy's turn. But wait, okay, there's more. Okay, since you have already a copy of Kang and feature date is already available, then you can play Kang for free, and your second copy of Kang again for free. If you have a third copy, that's better. If not, then it's okay. But since you don't have any more recruit points, the Kangs here provide the needed flight wall for you to survive, okay, all incoming attacks from your opponent. Okay, so let's say you don't do anything, you pass your turn, you just wait around, it's okay. Now, it's your opponent's fourth turn and he drops in another resource, another character, so he gets to attack. Remember, okay, if he has stealth, you have 2 copies of your fine cover, and it can be recycled one more time because of Darkhold, so that's a total of 9 defense that you can give to your Nebula. But if it's a traditional way of him attacking you, okay, so now you can see here that Kang can actually help you survive and get that needed XP. So Kang here is a 3 attack, 3 defense character because you set your future date by stating the number 3. He has 2 health, so very durable, and he has flight and range. And he has swarm, so you can put multiple copies of Kang in play. So that will help you create that flight wall that you need to block your opponent's attackers. So even if your attackers have flight, no problem because you have at least 2 Kangs to help you survive. If they get past your very first line of defense, the 2 Kangs and the Black Dwarf, then you still have the Darkhold and 2 copies of Fine Cover in order for you to survive the turn. So once his turn ends, then Nebula now will get that 1 XP and now he can already start doing her evil job. So now let's try to draw in 2 more cards for your 4th turn. So you have a nullifier and you have keys. So again, you can already drop in Wax here because you already have an extra copy of her, and not much to use Panda and the Academy, but then you can now drop in keys so that you can create a generic power symbol for your Nebula. And of course keys with his 2 weeks to learn his patterns. When keys appears, choose a character on your side. That character can use any power symbol to pay for your next superpower. So remember, you already have Kang in play and you also have Madam Bass in your KO pile. So again, if there's a better option from your opponents, do it. But then you can now use your Academy to pay for Tomorrow is Mine to sculpt, and now she can copy Swarm. So the first thing that we are copying here is Swarm. So now it's time for the payback. Get to attack. Whatever you like to do, it's okay. So now let's say if it's your opponent's turn, let's try to continue this. Another Kang and a Nebula. So the good thing about here is, of course, Nebula has several copies of her supporting character here. And actually, once you are able to copy Swarm, on your next turn, now you can already, of course, play Nebula because Nebula already has Swarm. So I think we got that right. Now let's say if your next power, your next draw was, let's try to go over it quickly, was actually a space. So you didn't draw the Kang, but you drew but you drew in a space. So on your 5th turn, you now have a space. Then what you can do here is now you can copy for your second use of your Tomorrow's Mine to sculpt. Now you can copy Madam Mass by duplicate, and this is where the fun begins because like let's say you can now play any other character if you like because you have 5 resources. You can play the Wasp. Now you can of course put Wasp here for the meantime, and let's say you can use you can play the nullifier if you like. It's up to you. You don't need to worry because this Nebula is not unlike it's not like Red Skull, wherein Red Skull needs a Cosmic Cube in order to go to level 2, and once he loses that Cosmic Cube, he now goes back to or reverts back to level 1. Her status remains the same. So let's say if you already have that and you have Madam Mass copied Madam Mass by duplicate, and you already copied Swarm during the previous turn, then once you attack with Nebula, this is where the fun begins. So Nebula, you power her up, so that brings her to 12, 12 to a plus the additional plus 1 counter, and now she becomes 13, 13. And the good thing, because you have bioduplicate, then Nebula can now be put into play. Okay, so good thing about this, because of course, let's say if you have other copies of your Nebula in your deck, okay, then you can also do that same pattern over and over again. Okay, so let's say if we were able to draw additional Nebulas, okay, once you're still in the process of attacking, okay, you can still power up Nebula. So now she becomes a 14 attack, 14 defense character, because you have put in an additional +1/+1 counter. And since you already have bioduplicate, okay, you put another Nebula into play. So if you have a third Nebula in your hand, then now she becomes a 15 attack, 15 defense character. And again, with bioduplicate, you are able to, okay, put another, okay, Nebula into play. So that's a good thing about it. Okay, so her power is so good that you can copy almost anything. Good thing if you're up against the Guardians of the Galaxy and they put in Groot, now you can gain his +1/+1 bonuses depending on how many resources you have in play. If they have a Thanos in play, you can copy Thanos, and you can again welcome death and again wound your opponent once it gets dazed or stunned. So that's a good thing about Tomorrow is Mine to Sculpt. So I really love this deck because, of course, we see here that, okay, Nebula is a totally outrageous main character once you're able to put her into play. Okay, so we like to see what is the consistency of this deck. What are the combinations that I have used? Okay, so let's now try to decipher, okay, what, okay, I put into this particular Nebulas deck. Okay, so let's now try to discuss, okay, the deck build for this particular Nebulas deck. Okay, so now let's go over our deck again. So this particular deck, it makes use of 4 Kangs, and Kangs at 0 cost is totally free if you're able to set the future date right. So let's try to look over at Kang. So Kang here is actually, okay, variable attack defense character from the Frightful team, and has 2 health and flight and range. So the Tomorrow War at the start of the game, okay, so before players draw their opening hands, secretly you choose, okay, future date, and Kang can't appear unless it is that date. Then time will tell. Kang has base attack and defense depending on or equal to the future date that you have chosen. And he has swarms, so you may have any number of Kangs on your side, and this power cannot be turned off. So for this particular case, I normally, okay, use as a future date, okay, 3. That's because that's where I drop in my one-of-a-kind equipment. And 3 provides him with at least a stable 3 attack, 3 defense stats that can actually stop most opponents' attacking characters. So Kang is very essential here, most especially if you are able to draw him during the early parts of the game, because you really need to set up your flight wall. Okay, so let's put 4 Kangs here. Another set of flight wall are your 1 cost Wasp. And Wasp is actually a 1 drop character from the A-Force team, and she is a 1 attack, 2 defense character with 1 health and flight. So again, another good flight wall. She has Sting, so when Wasp appears, put a -1/-1 counter on an enemy character. And she also has Shrink, so when Wasp gets attacked the first time each turn, you may just cancel the combat. So Wasp is good during your first drop, because at least you can survive 2 attacks and at the same time help, okay, stall your opponents from getting at your very puny, okay, Nebula. Then we have also put in 4 copies of the Black Ant as another set of 1 drop. And Black Ant is here because he is important for you to be able to drop in your Cosmic Cubes. So remember, you have 2 copies of your Cosmic Cube here, the 2-drop Cosmic Cube and the yellow using the 3-drop Cosmic Cube. So Black Ant at 1 cost is a 1 attack, 1 defense character with 2 health from the Hydra team. And just like Wasp, he also has Shrink. So when Black Ant gets attacked the first time each turn, you may cancel the combat. We are not really more usable for his particular superpower. It's not really that usable. But like model decoy, so I'll just try to explain it. During the main phase, you may pay 1 green power symbol and put 3+1/+1 counters on Black Ant for each Black Ant supporting character in your KO file. Though not really that much, no, because of course we use Black Ant in order for us to be able to play the Cosmic Cube if it's in your hand. And another set of 1-drop is your Madam Mass. And of course, Madam Mass is from the Femme Fatale team, and she is a 2 attack, 2 defense character with range and 1 health. She has bio duplicate, so when you power up Madam Mass by discarding a card named Madam Mass, you may put that character card onto your side. So let me try to explain this further, for you to understand. Okay, tomorrow is mine to sculpt according to the rulebook. Of course, will replace any instances of a character's name with that of Nebula. So if you get to copy bio duplicate, so this is how it's going to read. Okay, so when you power up Nebula, by discarding a card named Nebula, you may put that discarded card into your side. Okay, so that is how tomorrow is mine to sculpt actually works for this deck. So that is how you get to play all those insane number of Nebulas, without even paying a recruit point. But of course, before you can do that, you also have to use or copy Swarm first. So it's either you copy Kang's Swarm or you copy Madam Mass Swarm. So you may have any number of Madam Mass onto your side and this power can be turned off. So when I created the very first reincarnation of the Nebulas deck, I think a year ago, I haven't really considered using Kang because of course Frightful was not yet out. And of course the bio duplicate was already there. And it's good, because I really love and it's really fun playing this deck. And I actually remember that we were able to win one particular tournament by using Nebula and the Nebulas team concept. So of course a while ago we have discussed that we also have 4 copies of Black Dwarf in our deck. And Black Dwarf is a 2-drop, 4 attack, 1 character, 1 health, 1 defense character with 2 health. And he's from the Black Order, so when Black Dwarf appears, you may reveal the top 6 cards of your deck, put a one-of-a-kind equipment from among them onto your hand, and shuffle the rest of the revealed cards onto your side. And he has top, so when Black Dwarf gets stunned, you may recover him, and he still gets wounded, but still he goes face up. So Black Dwarf is here because we need to find one-of-a-kind equipment, as many as possible, or whatever we can, so that we are able to level up Nebula quickly. And of course, your set of Nebulas, for your 3-drop, you have your first Nebula from the Femme Fatale. So she is a 3-cost, 3 attack, 3 defense character with 2 health, and she's an underling. So when Nebula gets +3/+3, if your main character is evil and is level 2 or higher. So again, Nebula gets +3/+3 if your main character is evil and is level 2 or higher. So remember, if Nebula is already level 2 and she is from the super villain, so now your Nebula becomes a 6/6 or 6 attack, 6 defense, 3-drop character. And of course, we have another set of Nebula here because this will not be a Nebulas deck if you don't have that many. And we have 4 copies of the 4-drop Nebula. So the 4-drop Nebula from the super villains is a 5 attack, 3 defense character with 2 health, and she has flight and range. and she has this keyword power. A new order exists within the universe. So when Nebula appears, she may pay a green power symbol, and if she does, put 2 -1 counters on each enemy supporting character that doesn't share a team affiliation with a main character on its side. So again, once your Nebula already has that, okay, bio-duplicate online, now you can use it to power you can use any Nebula to power up Nebula, make her grow big, and at the same time put that card discarded into your side. So again, power up, so you keep amassing those, okay, Nebulas, okay, as many as you can. So this is how outrageous this deck can totally become. Okay, but of course, in order for you to gain access to that superpower, you have to copy a lot of character cards. So you need at least 4 keys, and this is your biggest character in your deck. And of course, keys is a 4 attack, 6 defense character from the face team, and he has 1 health. And this is where the 2 weeks to learn his patterns will come in handy. Because when keys appear, choose a character on your side, and that character can use any power symbol to pay for its next superpower this turn. Okay, so that's very good. Okay, I put in 4 copies. I decided to use a while back Starhawk, the new Starhawk from the Guardians of the Galaxy. But then again, I just opted to have at least 4 keys, because sometimes really, okay, in an actual match, you just have to be more logical and not be more thematic if you really want to win the game. Okay, so let's now go to our equipment. So this particular deck sports 4 equipment, and all of them are one of a kind. The first is your nullifier, of course, and it's a one-of-kind equipment with 2 costs, and it has no ultimate nullification. When a nullifier appears, name a keyword or superpower, and enemy characters lose and can't gain that power until the nullifier leaves play. So again, it has a marble symbol here, so at least you know that you can play it anytime, even without the proper team affiliation. And as a while ago, I told you that we have 2 sets of cosmic cubes here. So we have the cosmic cube, the red one, and this is a 2-cost one-of-a-kind equipment from Hydra, and it has reshape resistance. So during the main phase, you may pay 1 red power symbol and look to an enemy player's deck and choose a card. Okay, remove any number of cards with that name in their deck from the game. So at the same time, okay, you have your black end because you need to put Cosmic Cube on the 3rd turn if you really want to play it. Okay, if you don't have, let's say, the nullifier or the dark hold into your hand. Okay, in your hand. So again, another copy of your Cosmic Cube is the 3-drop Cosmic Cube, and it's one of a kind, and it has reshaped the mind. So during the main phase, you may pay 1 yellow power symbol to look at an enemy player's hand and choose a card. Remove all cards with that name, okay, in their hand from the game. So normally, we really need to use this 3-drop Cosmic Cube because you need to remove particular cards from your opponent's hand, like the Dark Phoenix or even a nullifier, which can, of course, okay, stall you from using your Tomorrow is Mine to stall. And finally, the last equipment that we have, and maybe one of the most important, is the Dark Hold. Of course, it's a 3-cost character with one of a kind. It has malevolence, so equip only to an evil character. Of course, in this deck, since you're running a Nebula deck and she's evil, you cannot use the Book of Vishanti here. And I really like Dark Hold because, of course, it has dark magic. When you play your first plot twist each turn, put it into your hand instead of your KO pile, so that you can recycle your defensive plot twist. And speaking of your defensive plot twist, you carry around just 2 sets of plot twists, and of course the first one is Shock to the System. And Shock to the System is so good in this deck because it can help you prevent that stun in order for you to keep your equipment intact, okay, by the end of your enemy's turn. So during combat, choose an attacker to get a -3 attack, -0 defense this combat. So you run 4 copies of this card because you really need to protect your Nebula. And on the other hand, you also have 4 copies of Fine Cover. And fine cover is almost similar to your shock to the system. And it says here that during any combat, choose a defender to get a +0/+3 defense this combat. So again, all the while to protect your Nebula. Okay, now going to our locations, we are running 16 locations for this deck. And first, of course, you need 4 copies of space to give you that alien power symbol. And of course, it's just used here for Nebulas. Tomorrow is mine to sculpt. Okay, so we really need that space on hand when we finally activate her main superpower. And of course, you have 4 copies of Academy to produce your yellow generating power symbols. Okay, so Academy is very usable in this deck. It has so many applications. Okay, first is you can use it to activate your Wakanda to find that one of kind equipment. And you can also use it for your Cosmic Cube. Remember the 3-drop Cosmic Cube to help you discard critical cards from your opponent's hand. And you can also use it on Peace, because Peace also has liquid nitrogen cannon, which can freeze an enemy character and can help stall if your opponent is able to drop huge opposing characters on his side of the board. And we also have 4 copies of the Bolt, because it's the main special location of super villains characters. And the Bolt here can generate any power symbols. You can use it to pay let's say for Nebula's keyword power, which is a new order exists within the universe. And you can also use it to activate Wakanda to find that one of a kind equipment. And if you are able to attach Cosmic Cube, any Cosmic Cube on your main character, then you can use the Bolt to activate those Cosmic Cube. And finally, we have 4 copies of Wakanda, because we need to search for your one-of-kind equipment. So technically that gives you an 8-card chance, because you have 4 one-of-a-kind equipment plus 4 Wakandas to search it in a 60-card deck, in this particular build. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this totally outrageous deck, and I hope if you get to build this, you get to enjoy it. And I tell you, it's really fun if you get to play with this particular main character, which is Nebula. So she's so crappy during the first stage of her career at level 1, but then she can become totally awesome when it comes to her level 2, because you get to copy any powers that is on the side of the board. You can even copy Galactus if you like. And you can squeeze in additional cards if you can. Let's say you can put in 1 copy of Groot, or let's say 2 copies of it. But again, it's up to you. In order for you to help Nebula grow really that big, you can also get to copy, let's say, Shrink. So you can get, let's say, 1 turn, 1 attack advantage from your opponent, because you can cancel it. Well, it's up to you. So before we go, of course, again, we like to thank our sponsors. First of all, we like to thank our friends from the BS2 PCG Collective. And thank you very much to you guys there, to my friends there, Danny Patrick, Mr. Benjamin Brosin, and Mr. Joe Vitelli, and all the other great guys at BS2 PCG Collective. And also, we'd like to thank our friends from the Build Pace, Build Pace USA. And we are now running the first edition of our Build Pace League Philippine Edition here in Manila. So we are now going to our semi-final rounds, and thank you very much to Mr. Ben and Mr. Human Torch, Joe Vitelli, for helping us achieve this goal. So again, we also like to thank our official sponsor, Treats for Them. So that is Treats for Them, spelled as TREATS number 4 THEM. And you can download the app, Treats for Them mobile app, at the Google Play Store, or you can visit our website at www.treatsfordem.com. And of course, sooner or later, you will get the chance to order now from our new Virtual Mall Philippines mobile app. And these are from the same creators of Treats for Them. And if you are an OFW or an expat, okay, from abroad and you want to order treats or gifts, okay, to your friends here or family members here in Manila, you can try to use Treats for Them. And remember, Treats for Them has more than 200 and more merchants. Okay, you can buy food, you can buy gifts, you can buy health supplements, you can even buy travel tickets, and even BS2 PCG decks, okay, or boxes at Treats for Them. And we also like to take the opportunity to thank our official venue here in Manila, and that is Forge Hobby Place. So Forge Hobby Place is located at Unit B, number 70 in Velasquez Compound. Okay, that is along Naga Road in Las Piñas City, Philippines. And we also have our other venue up north, and that is PM Apartments. And PM Apartments is located at 24 Matalino Street. Okay, that is in Diliman, Quezon City, Philippines. Okay, and of course, our sponsor, Ecosphere. Ecosphere is the official water treatment service. Okay, though we don't really use that much water unless I'm doing this video because it's so hot in my place. Okay, so Treats for Them. Ecosphere is our official, okay, bottled water. Water treatment service, and of course, Ecosphere is actually so compact that it can fit right into your kitchen. So thank you very much everybody for watching this video. And again, this is your host Mark Iyong, and this is BS2 PCG Deck Forger as we present to you another totally outrageous deck. And this is Nebula, Nebulas, Nebulas. I got money on my